So Jay-Z recently did a interview with Kevin Hart, and unfortunately Peacock, which is a very sus name for a YouTube channel streaming service,
Crazy.
Peacock pulled it from all over the internet. So I couldn't find the exact clip, but it's on, I'm assuming on their app, it's the premium version. Anyway, it was a very good interview, and there was this one part interview that really stood out to me that I wanted to just kind of unpack with you guys that I think most of us aren't really thinking about. You have two pathways in terms of how to build an online presence, a personal brand, an online ministry, whatever you want to call it. There's two pathways. Pathway number one is do something amazing, make a lot of money, and then build a business after you've done something amazing and built a lot of money. I was just on Ryan Panita's podcast that's going to be dropping pretty soon. And Ryan Panita is a good friend of mine. He's based in Vegas, and he built a business that he started flipping couches with, and then he flipped houses, and then he built like almost a dozen businesses, and he does $30 to $40 million in revenue, a couple $1 million a month. And he basically hired out a full team. They pay, I think what I heard him say at Growth Video Live was, I think he said he pays about $40,000 a month for his team. $40,000 a month. So they got a guy that follows him around with the camera, and then there's a guy that does the podcast, and they got remote editors everywhere. They got a team that does his TikToks. So Ryan Panita is someone who built a business based on what other people want, based on what other people are needing, whether it's homes, whether it's accounting. He got so many different businesses, e-commerce, and then took the revenue from that and channeled it over into an actual media company. Okay?
40 grand is dropping a hat when you're doing $3 million a month between all your companies. So then that's kind of your point, is that like he's just got the revenue where he can, even if the channel is smaller, or he's trying to really grow it, or it's even if it's going through a season where it's not doing super well, he's got the finances to fund that whole entire situation.
100%. So this is the Gary Vee model. This is the Alex Hormozi model. This is a lot of people who are developing, personal brands are doing it on the back of an actual business that they've built. So that's option one. Okay. Now the reality is that I'm not really the option one guy. In case you didn't know, I'm naturally a creative. I'm naturally a problem solver, but I didn't build my business around solving a problem or selling something that people already want, right? I intentionally built what I want to do around things that I'm passionate about. Now, this is the road of most resistance, to be clear. And this is the road that is very difficult to figure out with regards to what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? But this is the road where I think innovation creates something that we haven't seen before. You build stuff by necessity. You build stuff because there's no other options. You build stuff because, hey, I don't want to work a job anymore, or I can't work a job anymore. I keep going through jobs. I keep getting fired. And so I got to figure this thing out, and I got to do it by necessity. And that's what Jay-Z said, is that, granted, yes, Jay-Z's an interesting guy. Okay, he's not the guy that went from 0 to 1 legally. He went from 0 to 1 by selling drugs, okay? It is what it is. However, when he got to 1 and he was financially stable, he went from 1 to 10 by building his own record company when no one else wanted to work with him or do business with him, right? And so as we're entering this new era of YouTube, of music, of merchandising, of ministry, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, you have to consider, hey, if no one's going to give you a platform, because they're not, if you don't have the money to hire someone for $20,000 or $40,000 a month to follow you around, you have to think through what is the most optimal way to build an online presence so that you can build a business around your passion, okay? A business around your passion. This is a different approach. And this is where I think things like innovation, this is where I think things like thinking creatively, moving in a very agile manner, moving in a way that is thinking forward and not trying to do what people have already done, is going to come into play. And this is why we push Master YouTube Live. Because if you do the system of mastering YouTube Live, if you create the system of automation, of cameras to cut back and forth, where you don't have to think about edit. These videos don't get edited, by the way. Not sure if you knew that. We don't do a bunch of editing. Zach doesn't drop this in Final Cut Pro and chop it up and salsa it. That's why we got the sound effects. Everything is pre-programmed. And so because I don't have access to resources, I have been forced to be innovative and to do way more with way less, and then strategically invest into another set, into a full-time team member, into a remote editor, because I have to do way more with way less, but it keeps me and it keeps us agile. It keeps us on the cutting edge of what's happening and beyond. And it keeps opportunities coming in from people that are like, wait a minute, like non-Christians, people that don't agree with our worldview, they'll be like, yo, you guys are doing something really cool. Where'd you get this idea? How'd you come up with this? How'd you come up with that? And so I want you guys to be thinking about this, is if you're serious about this thing, you have to approach it like a business. You have to approach it like it is a business that you're starting up around your passion, and create some sort of investment into yourself, whether it's building a studio, taking one camera, building out the corner of your room, buying a nicer microphone, getting the lighting, set everything up once, make it so you don't have to reset it up, stream live, get your ideas out, chop it down using the YouTube editor, and then move on to the next video. And if you can commit to publishing, that's going to tip the scales in your favor to get as many videos out, to get as much stuff out. And again, we're moving out of necessity. We're forced to innovate. We don't have it all handed to us. A lot of you guys, you don't have $20,000, $40,000 a month. Some of you guys do. God bless you, okay? But I think this idea of leaning into live streaming, batch shooting content through live streaming, just like we're doing in real time. We just had another video before this. I think is going to be the best path forward. And I don't see enough people utilizing live, chopping the videos down into shorter videos, taking those videos and chopping those down into shorts and TikToks and Instagram reels, and leaning into the technology that's available. You don't got to do the 3 camera setup like we're doing. You could do 1 camera and just do it really, 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 really well. I don't know if you want to add anything to this, Zach, because I think this is so important, but I don't really see enough people embracing it. In my opinion, I want to say everybody doing it, but what do you think?
No, I think a testament to you as a creator is that you're very, very, very consistent. And I think there's self-awareness needed when starting a YouTube channel as to like how much of that consistency do you have built in you? How much of that do you need to discipline into your lifestyle to stay up on your upload schedule? So if you're making that investment into some cameras, maybe you already have some cameras laying around and the initial investment isn't as much. But if you are making that investment, you don't really want to spend a bunch of money and then you don't really use that system. I know for myself, I don't necessarily at this stage of my life have that innate consistency. I don't have that factor yet. And I also realize I love supporting someone else in their vision. And so when I was doing my freelance thing, I wasn't loving it a ton. Once I started working for Ruslan, I love it every day because I get to come in and I know that he's the one that's staying consistent. So the days that I think, oh, we don't really have a stream today, there's nothing going on in the news, Ruslan's like, well, we got to do a video today. I'm like, all right, well, let's find something to do. But I still create, and I'm creating every day, and we're working on that stuff. But I do know that from a team member viewpoint, where I'm not the one that has to be consistent every single day, that it is like another level of drive. There is another level of just being like, there's no such thing as burnout. Mm-hmm. Like you do not get to burnout. You don't get to do seasons on YouTube. You don't get your channel season 1 and then 6 months off your channel season 2. You're not going to be successful that way. And so I think there's a little bit of that self-awareness that is very, very much needed when hopping into this space. And you just got to be real with yourself. You got to be real that it's going to be painful sometimes. It's not going to be like, I know for me, I got this. Just know it's going to be hard sometimes. It's going to be difficult, but that level of commitment and consistency is going to be like next level.
Yeah. And it's the commitment for me is out of desperation. Just so we're clear. Like I couldn't go do any more shows when COVID happened. So this was it.
and
there's nothing else.
You're also a refugee from a communist country. So I'm joking, but I always think that there's that, that built
psychotic.
In, like, I'm still trying to survive. I'm still trying to make it out. And I'm like, Ruslan, we're good. You're like, we've got to build a second set. And I'm like, all right. So no, but I think that there's something there. It's just personality wise. I know for sure that I think almost, do you feel like you convince yourself that you still got to survive? Like nowadays, like how do you, pandemic hit, you had to survive. Mm-hmm. How do you stay consistent now? Like, what is that driving factor to not even go a day without streaming?
I think I just call it my non-negotiables. If I have certain non-negotiables, I'm going to do those regardless. And that's just how I look at it. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just like, this is what we do. We make a video 5 days a week, or something comes out. And if they could all be great and we can love them, then better, but they're not all going to be great. I know that. So maybe there's some of that. I don't know. I
think it goes back to also treating it as a business.
Yeah.
Where maybe, and I really like this about you, is that you have the perfect amount of creative side and the perfect amount of entrepreneur, where you can keep the show moving. Like, you just invested in this entire set,
right? Because
you saw the creative vision, but you're also like, this has to get done today.
Yep.
We are streaming today. We got to wire all the cables, and I'm like, I don't even know how we're gonna get all this done, but we got to get it done. So I think it's treating it as a business where the shop is open Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, 9 to 5.
Right.
You know, and people can come in, they can enjoy the content. But if you're not putting anything out, if you're closing the shop, then it's not going to stay open long term.
Yeah. I think you're totally spot on. Make stuff consistently, treat it as if it's anything else, and the compounding effect will happen if you're deliberate. This is what I mean. If you go to the gym 5 days a week and you do the compound lifts and you track your macros, and you actually are accurately tracking your macros, the results will come. It may take 6 months, it may take a year, it may take 2 years, the results will come. If you're not being deliberate and you're cheating, and you could be hitting 135 on the bench, but you got the baby 25s on, right? Because you don't want to extrain yourself.
You're doing paleo, but you're making paleo brownies.
Yeah, shout out to all the people that are like, I'm doing Whole30, but then you're making like paleo pancakes and paleo brownies. L for you.
You guys think I'm stupid. I'm not stupid, guys. I know this.
L for you. If you're going to do something, you got to do it. You got to do it. And I think the more we could approach these sorts of things in the content space, and like you said, have that combination of this is a business, this is a commitment, and I have to be a creative. And I think all a creative is just someone that's curious. I think that's all it is. Like, you just got to remain curious about stuff. I'm constantly curious. We got all these different effects, and we got all these different things that I'm working on with these here, I'll show you guys some of the new stuff. We got the camera cuts, but we're working through it. That's the point. And so as I'm developing this, I'm remaining curious on the creative side, and I'm being diligent on just the output side. And the more you can commit yourself to publishing, that is where you're going to win. And I think YouTube has opened it up now to where anyone can live stream if you have 0 subscribers. If you can't, and I'm wrong, I don't think I am, but if I am, you can still use the same exact format by not doing anything where you got to record into a memory card and then drop it into Final Cut. You could do the same exact format and just record onto your hard drive and then upload that. You could do that. You don't need to actually be live. If you're not ready to be live, it's okay. Being live just gives you the option and the possibility of hitting the algorithm. And that just, again, tips the scale in your favor. But there's nothing wrong with doing 100 videos of you talking into a camera and committing to publishing them. If you do that, it'll go eventually. If you're deliberate, that's a big if, because some of you guys aren't deliberate. You just keep making the same stuff, and you make 2-hour streams about random stuff, and you don't really got the personality or the charisma to carry a 2-hour stream. If you're deliberate and you're self-aware, and if you're consistently looking back at the analytics, and if there is a niche that is thriving and growing and not dying, right? That would be the things I would look at. If you just, I don't know, I'm going to go live as a vlog and walk down the street and go live. Like, that's probably not going to work in today's climate, right? Vlogging is kind of dead. But if you're deliberate and you're finding a niche and a format that works, and you're leaning into your expertise, and that's really why we put together the Master Your Niche. The link is in the description. Sign up for that. Take that free training, and that'll help you get a grasp of what it is that you should be talking about, so you're not out here just talking out your butt saying random stuff, okay? So anyway, those are my thoughts on this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed. We're about to crack 2,000 subscribers here on this channel, so that's super exciting. And we'll keep you updated and keep consistently leaning into these sorts of conversations.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.